Awesome. So we're going to dive right in first to just talking about kind of what it would look like to speak at JobTread Connect. And then, yeah, we'll open it up to questions. We can brainstorm topics, all that good stuff. So we'll just dive right in. So first and foremost, I don't know, Eric, do you want to kind of talk about what we're looking for at Connect?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, this is an opportunity, for you all to share your knowledge, hopefully inspire some people, give some education. We're definitely looking for best practices, business processes, workflows, things that have worked for you and your companies, tips and tricks, lessons that you've learned along the way, things that, you wish you would have known, 20 years ago or whenever you started the business that you've since learned, success stories. So again, the goal is, it is intended to be an educational, session, but also just a motivational, inspirational. We want people to walk away thinking, oh man, like that was so awesome. Like I could relate and like that would really help me. Like, again, the very kind of tangible, takeaways from any given session. We want you to sort of think ahead of time what those would be. If you were attending a session on this topic, what would you hope to learn to get out of it? I think that's kind of the premise here.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that that's a really good point is when you're starting to think about, gosh, do I have anything to share? Yeah, what do you wish you would have known in the past? And also starting with kind of those learning outcomes or like, hey, when somebody attends my session, what do I want them to walk away with? Do I want them learning something? Do I want them gaining insight? Do I want them thinking about something? Do I want them to actually identify, different points? And so starting kind of with that why or like the outcome of your session is actually really, really helpful. I think that a lot of people start by wondering, gosh, what should I call my session? Well, actually, like the name should come last. So start to think about maybe what you want them to get out of it first, and then the name will come to you really easily from there. So we'll talk a little bit more about like deciding your session and all that good stuff as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we did, we had to have a deadline of some sort. So I think you may have noticed here we've got September 10th. So, we kind of just threw out a date early on. We are definitely way ahead of schedule, especially relative to previous years. So we do just want to, try to collect, as much of this information about your presentation as early as possible. That's going to help us to plan, the event and the program. As well as, we know that a lot of people sort of wait to get their tickets until they have a better idea of, the content and the topics. So, we do want to try to kind of get some of the, the thoughts and everything rolling ahead of time. I mean, obviously, like you don't have to have the presentation final, right now or even in the next couple months, but, we do want to have a good idea of what, it will be about. Yeah. So we are asking you again now, September 10th is sort of what we're shooting for here.
Yeah, I think you'll see on the website it says like August 30th.
I think I had her updated.
Okay, great. Perfect. Okay. So what are some of the benefits of presenting? I know Eric is really passionate about this one, and I could go on about it too, but I'm just going to let you take it as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I mean, it's an opportunity for you to share your experience, establish yourself as a thought leader in the industry. There's definitely a lot that, it can help you build credibility by, putting yourself in that situation where you are teaching, you are educating, you're giving back. I know it can be nerve-wracking sometimes, and some people aren't like big on public speaking. Like, totally get it. I've been there. I can tell you it does get easier and easier as you do it more often. And so this is a great opportunity to, to get some experience doing that. It's a way to share your story, again, inspire others, help them, learn that, they're not alone. Like you have been there, like you have done that. We think it's a great way too, like from a networking standpoint. Like I can tell you definitely, like all of the people who have spoken at our events, like after your session, like you'll get a swarm of people that come up to you and want to talk to you and network and say, hey, like, I heard what you said, but what about this or what about that? Or how can we work together? Things like that. Like it's a great way to, again, to keep building your network of people that hopefully you can even take home and after the show, continue on, working together and meeting. I'd love to, again, just drive innovation, again, helping, others and facilitating these discussions, whether it's a panel, a presentation, whatever it may be. We know that when you bring a lot of smart people and a lot of people, dedicated and passionate about a specific topic, it just spurs more ideas and more growth and more, it's just such an awesome experience. And so, again, we see this being a really great opportunity, for you all to be able to get that experience speaking, at a large conference in front of a lot of people, but we think and we hope that, it doesn't stop there. We hope that, again, you can kind of keep it going even after the event, whether it's in JobTread Pros on our Facebook or whether it's just, even people last year created their own kind of ongoing meetups, after the event, which is super cool to see. So, we hope that you get benefit even beyond just this just this short little period you'll have on stage.
Exactly. And then I think also like credibility is such an awesome thing that we can generate through this. I was speaking with someone earlier today about how they want their business to be known as one of the like main business or companies within their industry, and they want to set the standard. They want to be seen as the experts. So this is a great way to get you there. And how cool that you get to speak in front of tons of people. I love it.
It also, I mean, again, from an SEO standpoint, is probably very beneficial just to have like your name and your company's name, listed on our website. We get, bunch of traffic. So, the SEO benefits of it as well. I think, kind of just a little side benefit there, but it could be helpful for you.
It's true. All right, so let's get into kind of what this will look like. So here at JobTread Connect this year, we're going to have 5 different education tracks. So imagine, some of you have been to JobTread Connect before, so you can kind of imagine this easier than others, but we're going to have large room sessions, like where everyone's in one space at one time for main speaking events, keynotes, etc. But then we're going to have education breakout sessions. And during the education breakout sessions, we kind of call those blocks. There will be 5 sessions happening concurrently. And so beginner, intermediate, advanced bookkeeping, and then kind of like this ongoing roundtables, topic-based roundtables session. So within that, we are going to plug you into some of those blocks. So the beginner track is usually just for people who don't really know how to use JobTread yet. And so that's going to be our team teaching the how to use JobTread part, so that when they attend your sessions, they'll know how to use JobTread for the most part. And then your sessions can be about your story, your experiences, examples, etc. And you don't have to teach them, oh, click the button in the top right, like what I do every day. So that way we can take care of that in the beginner section. Then we have intermediate sessions that people will attend if they have kind of a foundational understanding of how to use JobTread, but maybe they haven't dabbled in all the advanced stuff yet. We would then be placing sessions in this section that are like, oh, okay, so people who have a foundational understanding of JobTread could attend this session and it won't be way over their head, right? Then we have the advanced sessions, and that's for all of our users who have used tools like selections and allowances and formulas, and they kind of feel like they're at expert status now. And so if they attend a session from one of you about how to use formulas, they're not going to be asking the questions of, wait, what is a parameter? Or, show me how I can do a multiplication within a cell, right? Like that, they should be ready knowing that this is an advanced session, so they don't throw you off during your sessions. Therefore, you don't have to teach them all of that. And they will be given like a prep series of videos that they could watch in advance to kind of get prepared for JobTread Connect as well. So even if they're like, gosh, I don't know enough before I go, they're going to be given a series of videos to watch to kind of help them get there. And then we have the bookkeeping. Actually, we've changed that now to the financial session block, financial track. So in that track, it'll be all related to financials. So that can be bookkeeping sessions. It can be on the Quickbooks integration. It can be job costing. It can be invoicing. So any of those types of topics will fall within that financial section. And we will have several bookkeepers attending. We will have several accountants attending. Some of them will be doing sessions, but others of them just want to learn. And so those are open as well. And then the roundtable discussions, those are just basically, here's a topic, pop in here if you want to talk to other people about this topic. So those are not as structured as the sessions that you all would be doing. So we would be funneling your sessions into the intermediate, advanced, and bookkeeping or financial track.
Yeah, I mean, again, so are they supposed to be doing like a JobTread training, or could this be kind of even a broader topic that's kind of like sort of tied in somehow or another? I mean, obviously, sales skills and different sales strategies might not necessarily, be 100% like, oh, well, here's how you create a budget and here's how you, use your Kanbans. I mean,
yeah, that's a great question. And so we're going to get into topics in a little bit here, even more, but Eric brings up a good point. It doesn't have to be specifically about using JobTread. Okay, we would love for JobTread to be tied into it some way, shape, or form, but you do not have to sit up there and walk through your JobTread with everybody. You could do a presentation format. You could do a debate with you and a team member about using cost plus versus fixed price, right? You could definitely get creative with this if you want to. And in fact, some of our sessions will be panel style. So we may be inviting some of you to join in on our panel discussions as well as panelists. And so think to yourself too, if you don't feel comfortable standing up on stage yourself with, I'll tell you how many people will be in the room in a second because I don't want anyone freaking out. But if you don't feel comfortable being on stage with a microphone, attached to you and leading a full session, then let us know because we can also put you on a panel discussion. But I encourage you to challenge yourselves. You won't know if you like it until you do it. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. All right, so how to prepare. We've got your back here. Don't feel like you're alone. So the first thing that you can do is schedule a one-on-one meeting with me. I've met with 3 of you so far, and I believe those meetings went decently where we were able to identify your topic together. And we talked through that topic. We talked about some of the learning outcomes that people can develop when they attend your session. We've also talked about the structure of your sessions. So I'm an educator at heart. That's what my doctoral program was for. And so if you all want to meet with me in advance to submitting your topic, you're welcome to add some time on my calendar. Just go to jobtread.com/Anna and you can book a 30-minute meeting and we can talk through your topic and get you feeling more comfortable. And then that's optional though. You don't have to do that. You also then will want to submit a speaker application. It's a proposal on jobtreadconnect.com. There's like a call for presenters link, so you can go there. But we'll go through what is included in that application in just a little bit. And then that is going to allow us to sift through these. And our goal is to create a very well-rounded curriculum for the event. And so we're going to be very much focused on, okay, if we have too many sessions in this one area, we may need to do a panel discussion and pull some of you onto that rather than having, so many session blocks eaten up with this one topic, right? So we're going to go through and try to curate a nice curriculum based on what we receive, but we don't know what we're going to receive from you all yet. So that's why it is an application process. And then we're going to provide you with a slide deck template that's JobTread Connect branded, and it has tons of different slide options for you to pick and choose from. You just plop in your content. It says photo here, and you insert your photo, or video here, and you insert a video. So whatever content you want on those slides, we really set you up for success there. So we'll give you that slide deck template to use, and then you can add what you want to it. If you prefer to just spend time in JobTread for the most part during your session, that's welcome as well. You'll just use your slide deck for the first couple slides introducing who you are, and then you'll pop into JobTread. And then we're going to have a group presenter meeting, probably at the end of November, early December, where we're going to be going through all of the details about, okay, now that you're going to be presenting, this is what you can expect. And here's how you're going to use the technology and all that stuff. So that will help you get fully prepared. And then lastly, I do want to have a one-on-one final meeting with each of you who are presenting so that you have an opportunity to do a dry run. You can ask me questions. We can talk about your comfort level with speaking, and I can help you feel more comfortable. After all, my master's is in counseling, and so I can hopefully guide you to feeling more and more confident. But I am so excited to meet with all of you so you feel comfortable and that we can set you up for success. So that's kind of what it will look like for the preparation stages. And then we'll get into the actual event. When you're at JobTread Connect, this is what you can expect for the session. So you're going to arrive to your session 15 minutes before at minimum, and that will enable you to connect with the JobTread Success Manager who's there, and they will get all of your slide deck prepared. They will connect you with the audio person to get your microphone on, and that's kind of the prep time. If you have any handouts that you want to bring for the conference too, that's a time where you can put those on chairs, or you can kind of get settled. Then the audience will be probably between 150 and 200 people. It depends on the topic though, right? So some of your topics may be a bit more intimate, and that's fine. And then that could be like 50 people in the room. It's all basically a choose your own adventure experience for the attendees. So we can't really guarantee the number. But one thing we will be able to help you with is that before the conference, we're going to get people to RSVP to specific sessions. So that way we can tell you, hey, your session's seeming like it's going to be pretty darn big. So let's move you to this room for your session. And let's do some added preparation to make sure that you feel comfortable with the number of people in that space. So we will be able to kind of clue you into how your topic's doing. Do you want to talk about technology?
Yeah. So last year, one thing we learned, and I don't know how many of y'all saw, I may have been running from room to room to room. Well, it was a little bit chaotic when everyone was trying to bring their own device, plug it into the projector, get all the resolution, get everything working right. So, I'm thinking we might just need to go buy, I don't know, what is it, 5 or 6, like just brand new MacBooks, set them there on the machines, plug them in, and don't unplug and plug them back in. I think would really like to have the slides already kind of loaded on, Google Slides, then we can just easily pull them up. So the goal is going to be to hopefully just kind of have all of the technology just right there, already set up, ready to go. You put your mic on, get the clicker, and you should be off to the races. That's ultimately what we ended up doing at my last company when we did this. I think just us providing the machines made it a lot easier. Obviously got a little bit of an expense to that, but that's kind of my goal, to really try to make the technology as easy as possible for everyone.
Yeah, and we'll put those computers on podiums for you, so they'll be up there with you on stage, so you can definitely like use the mouse and move around JobTread on there if you want to. So we'll get you all set up for that. And then your JobTread Success Manager, it won't be yours specifically. I can't say that because we're going to parse everyone out, but they will be there to greet you. They'll help you get set up. Then they're going to introduce you onto stage. And so they'll kind of get everybody settled. And then they will be able to answer questions throughout. So that's why we're going to have the customer success managers in there, because if somebody has a question about JobTread specifically that you don't feel comfortable answering, they are going to be there with a handheld microphone ready to go and to answer those questions for you. So they're available for you. If you freeze on stage, that's when they're going to step in and help you get through it. So they're going to be coached as well, so they'll be fully prepared to help you. And then also they're going to provide you some time warnings. So we have these signs that are laminated, and they're just going to hold them up at 10 minutes left, 5 minutes left, and when your time's up, so that you don't have to worry about checking your watch all the time.
Yeah, I'm not good about staying on time.
No, he's not. We've experienced that.
Thanks,
I think I've held the times up sign for you for like 15
Well,
minutes.
then she starts doing this like, Eric, are you paying attention?
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, and then now thinking about topics. So we have tons of different topics, of course, that you can choose from, but we don't want to provide them for you, right? So here are just some basic, categories of topics, but I think it's most beneficial if your topic is more narrow. So yeah, you can talk about, let's say, sales. Okay, but what makes your sales topic most special, and what about sales do you do really, really well? And let's drill down and focus on that, because that's where people gain the most learning. So topics in all areas. So don't feel limited, like Eric was saying earlier, to just JobTread training. I can take care of that for you all, but you all can focus on all of these types of topics. So when you're thinking about topics, it can be a little bit daunting. So start by asking yourself, why are you successful? So what is working for you in your business right now? And I would like to brainstorm that list. I think that is really helpful, because that helps you kind of identify possible topics. You don't have to settle on one right away, but then start to think about your story, and what got you to the point where it's working for you. Where were you before and where are you now? Kind of this like before and after story is really helpful for people, and they resonate with that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I would say one of the things that I've learned, and actually had a speaking coach leading up to last JobTread Connect, and pretty much I think my biggest takeaway from that was like, he was like, look, tell more stories. People can remember stories a lot better than if you're just, going through a list of bullet points, reading off a slide, like try to incorporate stories, because that's what people are going to be able to walk away and remember a lot easier. So I do think kind of whatever your key points are, if you can bring in a story around it, that's going to make it a lot more memorable and probably hit home a little bit better.
I agree. And we should probably like actually follow our advice right now because we've been telling them lists of things. So
Hey, I just told you a story about my coach.
That's true. My story is at Eric's former company. I was a customer there, and I presented at the Org Sync Connect conference that they did every year. And the first year that I presented, I know I submitted my proposal. I was really nervous to see if I was going to get chosen, but then I ended up getting selected. And I was so nervous leading up to it, but I realized that I picked a topic that I could basically speak about in my sleep because it was extremely comfortable for me. It came naturally for me. I didn't feel like I had to think about it too much. And it wasn't super far out of my comfort zone. It was stuff that I knew and I knew well. And so that is super, super helpful. And then after that, I started presenting multiple times at that conference. And I think one year I got Presenter of the Year awards. So like it's something that you all can also grow into, which is really, really special. So that's my story. But I would really encourage you all to really think about what is your passion. I know that I talked to someone this morning, Jamie, about his passion for using formulas to create, 1-minute estimates. Like that is an awesome passion, and it's such a cool thing that he can talk about. And when he was telling me about this, I saw him light up and come alive. Sorry, Jamie, I'm picking on you, but it was so cool because that to me told me, okay, that has to be your session. Like you can't do anything other than that because that was so easy for you to talk about with just me. So how easy is it going to be on stage? Now, if you chose a topic like scheduling, because my schedule looks pretty, like that wouldn't be comfortable for you, Jamie, and that would not be something that you could talk about with your eyes closed or, so think about something that you're passionate about. People will read the passion that you give. And then no matter how many times you stutter or you say, excuse me, or you cough or whatever, people are still going to remember your passion first and foremost. So I'd really encourage you to think through that.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone from like, okay, I'm gonna like try to memorize my presentation and here's my script and I'm gonna recite it, a million times versus like at this point, like a lot of them I just sort of show up and just kind of talk and whatever comes out, like, I have found those to really actually go a lot better because it's just a very natural, like think about making it more conversational than, this like, scripted speech that you're trying to give to everyone. Like you want it to, try to be as involved, as possible. Taking questions throughout. I'm probably not very good about, involving the audience. I need to work on that some more. But, kind of just thinking about how you can kind of just, yeah, whatever it is that, tell your story, incorporate stories. Don't make it like force where like you're trying to, read off some script, because I think that is, it's more pressure on you than you need to put on yourself.
Yeah. I'll tell you something funny about when I first started working with Eric here at JobTread. We were trying to get him behind camera to like say a 30-second video, and Eric was just stuck in his script, and I'm like, this is not working, get off the script, get off the script. And then we ended up giving him a shot of whiskey so he would just like let go and talk, and it worked. And so he's not taking shots of whiskey anymore for that. He's got it down. But it's funny how like being on script can actually like disconnect you from the audience and actually like what you're talking about and the purpose. And so thinking of bullet points I think is really helpful, and that's where I can help to work with you on getting to that comfort level.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you saw the photos that we sent leading up to JobTread Connect last year, where I had my makeshift podiums everywhere, and like I definitely practiced the presentations over and over again, but it just, and that helps you kind of when you're finally ready, just to be able to present it because you do know it so well.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
Also think about co-presenting. I met with a couple people the other day, and we talked about the idea of presenting with another team member. And so then the two of you can be on stage and sharing your thoughts. And so if you have any other team members who can add a value to your topic and what you're discussing, then definitely like reach out to them and see if they want to connect and do the session with you. Because sometimes having another perspective on stage can help people in the audience connect with them more. And so, yeah, that's beneficial, and it takes a little bit of the edge off for you. And then make it applicable to most attendees. Here's the thing. JobTread Connect will have all types of contractors attending. And so you may have remodelers, deck builders, home builders, pool builders, all of these different contractors in the room for your session. But what I had told Jamie this morning, because he does decks, I was like, you know decks and you know your story, you know what you do best. Speak to your story, but know that it's still going to be applicable to more people in the room. Really, what our businesses boil down to is materials and labor, right? Like that's all types of construction. And so it can resonate with everyone, even though it might feel like, well, my industry is so different than this other industry. That's okay. But don't feel the need to try to make it applicable to everyone. You can still focus on what you're good at, but just know that, there might be other people in the room asking questions about how it could apply to a different industry or things like that. And that's okay. But yeah, I would be concerned about you getting stuck on trying to use examples for different industries. Focus on your examples and then know that it still will kind of apply to others.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where we can work on like the descriptions in the program to say like, Jamie from the deck industry is going to be sharing how he uses formulas to do 1-minute estimates for deck clients, and so then they can still choose to go to it if they're doing remodels and such, but they know that he's coming at it from a decking industry. So we can give people a heads up in advance.
And we may also try to kind of create, some of the panel sessions that we want to have. I mean, those may be, heavily loaded up. Like, so let's say we're going to get a bunch of pool builders, on stage. And so obviously that would really, be targeted at pool builders or remodelers or home builders, kind of like, I think we will sort of do some of that as well. Obviously all of the roundtable discussions, we can, depending on how we sort of organize the topics, as well as how we organize kind of the actual tables, we could sort of use that as an opportunity to bring similar people together, based on their industry as well. So, there will be lots of opportunities to kind of like really focus in on the industry, but then thinking about it more broadly, as Anna was saying, I think that does add the most value to everyone because, a lot of this is very relevant to all types of builders.
Exactly. All right. And so if you're feeling overwhelmed right now, don't worry. Or if you're like, I don't even know where to start, that's when you go to the link at the bottom, jobtread.com/Anna, schedule a meeting with me, and we will talk through all of this. And I promise I'm not scary as we go through this.
I thought you were going to say go to the liquor store, but go to the link. I got it.
That's what it would be my advice in the past. Yeah. All right, so here's what it takes to submit a proposal. We just want to know what's in your mind, okay? And so it doesn't have to be super polished yet. That's okay. So we're going to ask for your presenter's information. We'll ask for a session title, but it's a working title at this point. We can fine tune it moving forward. So put something in there. And then the session description is about 150 to 200 words. And that is going to be just basic. What are you trying to cover? I like to think of it as a story. So you have the meat of the story, which is probably what you're most passionate and excited about. But then you have to start with a story or the why and give value to the meat of the story. And then you end it by helping it be applicable to people or by overcoming any barriers that they have or giving actionable tips or tricks. So again, that's what we can work through when we meet. And then those are the 3 sentences in your description. Simple. It becomes a formula.
ChatGPT is also really great at this, just so you know. If you're feeling a little stuck or want some ideas, or
don't be ashamed.
Use it. It's very good. Just go ahead and use it.
Yeah. Then we're going to ask for the session type or format. What that means is, are you planning to speak on stage as like a presenter yourself, or are you wanting to have a debate? I was really thinking it'd be fun to do some debates with our team too, like if we do folders versus tags, it'd be kind of fun. But
yeah. Don't get me started, Anna.
But you definitely can get creative here. Maybe you want to lead like group discussions, or maybe you want to do more of a workshop style where people are building formulas together, or, so that's kind of just helping us understand like how you envision it. And so we have some examples on the form that you're going to fill out. So don't worry if you don't remember the name of it. The learning objectives, that's where you give us 3 to 5 different like things that you want your attendees to walk away with. So I like finishing this sentence 3 times. By attending this session, attendees will what? They will learn XYZ. They will understand what. They will identify something. It's kind of like writing a resume, right? So think of your verb and then fill in the blank. But I, again, really like starting with the learning objectives and then decide like the name and the description after that. It's going to come really natural to you. Audience engagement, we do like seeing that you're going to incorporate the audience in some way, shape, or form. So that could be through Q&A at the very end. That's fine. So always leave about 5 to 10 minutes for question and answer at the end. We didn't even say the sessions are 50 minutes. 50? We decided that, right?
I think so. I don't
Yeah.
You're in charge of the program.
We've kind of been jumping around. 50 minutes. So plan the last like 5 to 10 minutes for questions. And some of you might, though, at the beginning say, stand up if you have experienced, losing money from a job. Have everybody stand up. Okay, sit down. Like that's audience engagement, right? So like asking questions of the audience and getting some like recall.
I think I saw Anna have the audience doing yoga at a boot camp. So I don't know how far you want to go with it, but
yeah,
it seemed to work. I saw everyone like doing different poses and all sorts of stuff.
It was fun. It's called a boot camp. All right. And then JobTread use case, this might get a couple people hung up. Don't stress about this part. It's basically asking how will you incorporate JobTread in some way, shape, or form into your session. That could be simply by saying that like why your business is successful, you're telling your business growth story, and then you say it's awesome to have systems and processes in place like JobTread to help us get there. Okay, that'll do. Otherwise, some of you might be using JobTread for a lot of it by showing how you build certain schedules or estimates or formulas. So you can just say how you're planning to kind of, I'd say, reinforce the use of JobTread in some way, shape, or form during your session. But don't get hung up on that one. Do your best. We will ask for previous speaking experience just because we're curious. Out of these sessions that are submitted, these applications, we may choose a couple for the main stage. And so this is an opportunity if you're wanting to be a keynote speaker to put in some credibility for yourself. And there is an option to add a video link if you've done speaking before, but don't feel stressed out. If you don't have speaking experience, that's fine. You'll be just fine. And then we do ask for a headshot photo of each presenter. If you know that you're going to get your photos taken professionally in a couple weeks, that's okay too. Just submit what you have right now and then we'll swap it out later. But just get the application submitted is really the goal of this. And then we can fine tune everything down the road.
Yep.
Okay. Now we let you all unmute and ask questions because we're going to go into the meeting portion of this. How do you stop sharing the screen? I'd like to see all their faces.
Right here.
There we go. Okay.
Oh yeah, I got a nice grid of them.
Question. I have a question.
Yep.
So thanks for putting this together. It's a little awkward. So if we come out there, is this on our dime? Or are you going to like supplant some of our hotel expense, or how is that part of this, or is this just volunteer because we love Eric?
It's definitely volunteer. We keep this cost, the total cost of the conference as low as we possibly can. Really, we've actually never paid for speakers. It's just something that we just don't have it in the budget. We feel it's very important to try to keep that attendee cost as low as we possibly can. So to the extent that we can definitely make sure you're getting the best rate on the tickets, the early bird ticket rate. And then, like I said, everything, the hotel room, there's the block booking rate in there. I would say make sure that you do get those reserved ahead of time. But at this point, we don't have much budget for, kind of to provide.
Yeah, fair enough. I just wanted to ask because a lot of times that's part of, doing this, but I get it. Yeah. I'm on Team Eric.
Great question, though. I'm sure others had that question as well. What other questions do we have?
Can you share that slideshow with us that you went through there?
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. And we are recording this as well, so we'll send you the recording of this meeting too.
Is it just one presentation, guys?
You can submit multiple, you can submit as many kind of, different topics as you want. But probably would most likely just be one per person.
And you said 50, right? 50 minutes, not 15 minutes, correct?
Right. Yeah. We're thinking about the idea for the main stage of Tread Talks at some point, which would be like 20 minutes each, which could be kind of fun. But we're not quite there yet. And so yeah, these are 50 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely count though on having, just again, you could end up starting 5 minutes late, end up, having more questions. I mean, probably think about the meat of your content, is probably more like around 30 minutes. And then you've got kind of some buffer on the beginning and the end to just have some more of those questions for everyone.
Great
I have another question relative to like placing the presentation. So the concept that I have, and I think Eric kind of had in the back of my nose where I'm kind of coming from on this, is I've started using JobTread in January, and I've kind of gone into it and like, man, this is really great. And I'm not at the level of zapping that like Peter Rani is at, but I'm like the guy that's the inspirational story for, yes, you can do this, right? I have enough knowledge to be dangerous, but I've implemented zaps and things like that to really streamline a lot of monotonous work that on the lead CRM side that I've kind of built JobTread to do. It's become very hands off. And that's something that's kind of what I want to put my presentation around, would be using some of those quasi advanced features without going into APIs and super complicated, but just to kind of show like somebody that's new, hey, this is how I manage our lead stream, and this is how I've used the interoperability of these different systems to make it work. It's definitely not a beginner thing. I don't know if it's more the intermediate or the advanced, because part of the magic happens because I'm using the zaps and stuff, but they're not really complicated. They're very simple. They're not like 38-step zaps.
Yeah.
So what would you say on something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I love the topic. And here's what you can know, Greg, is that we will have a session that our team will do on how to do zaps. So then what we would probably do is we would make sure in the schedule that that session took place prior to your session taking place. So people can attend that session first, learn the how to build a zap, and then go to your session and see applicable use cases for building zaps. So that's the beauty of having you all presenting, is that now they can see, like, how do I put this in action? And so I love that topic. I think that, or I would try to discourage you from thinking you're not an expert, so therefore maybe I shouldn't. That's okay. We're going to have someone in the room with you. And in fact, probably for that session, we would have one of our developers in the room too. So if there are very, very detailed questions, we can then kind of push them toward the right people to ask those questions. So we'll make sure that on our end, we're covered to be the experts for you in a lot of this stuff. It's just a matter of you showing how you actually like use it in your business and day to day.
Yeah, and part of it too would be, it's kind of part of my overall picture of kind of processing leads, and like, I've done these talks before without having the JobTread angle on it about, hey, like you're a newish contractor, let me give you some wise advice on what works and what doesn't. And here's also a way to make some of this stuff kind of robotic, and it frees up a lot of time,
Yeah, so, streamlines and workflows.
I know, definitely, again, kind of processes, workflows, people are always very interested in that. Automations, certainly a ton of interest in just, again, if you're willing to kind of show, hey, here's what a process looks like from start to finish, that's tremendously valuable. Maybe even you've got, kind of on the slide, you walk through and show them kind of, hey, here's let me, show it to you, kind of in an outline format. Here's the process. Now let me show it to you in action. I think those are all very, very valuable, helpful. A lot of people want to just see how others have structured their JobTread. How are you, using the Kanban views? How are you using custom fields? How are you, what are your budget? How are those structured? How is your schedule? How do you look at, think about kind of from a catalog standpoint, like, I think all of that type of stuff, where again, it's the intermediate and advanced, but that's exactly what they're wanting to see from everyone else and how they're doing it, as they're looking to follow suit.
Yep.
All right, got a question from Marcus here. See the hand raised.
Oh, there we go. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. How you going? How you doing?
Excellent. I'm doing well. How actually, first and foremost, let me ask both of you, how are both of you doing? You just went over a lot of information.
We're doing awesome.
Yeah,
This
Good,
is
good,
my
good. Well,
jam.
hey, I'm happy to have been invited to this, be part of this, I should say. I think ultimately what I'm really looking for is just ways I can adapt for you. You know, I mean, obviously, I feel like you targeted, I went through the whole list, the names that you guys have in the call right now. Man, there's so many of the guys that you actually have had the interviews with, and on the channel and on the YouTube, and you
Yeah.
know, there's so much information. What I'm looking for is, I actually, again, just like Greg had emphasized, I am not prideful whatsoever in this process. I still am figuring this software out. So, with that being said, I'd like to challenge myself and also put a little bit more pressure on myself by saying, the area where you have the voids, where it's like certain categories or tasks within the software that you want someone to cover or have a bit more knowledge while being able to tie that in. Can you mark that out? I mean, obviously, I think you're going to go down the list. What I think, there's a method to your madness, Adam, Anna, and I'm seeing that. I think what you're going to do is you're going to go through and create a list with each and every person's strength. And you know, specifically in the characteristic or within the software that they can tailor to.
Yeah.
I guess if there's any open spaces where you feel like there are some voids, I'd be more than willing to take that on because I need to know it. I'm actively walking my administrative team through this. I got a second company I have to set up on the software too, so it's just like
Yeah.
I'm just dealing with these battles every single day now. And I think it'd be no better time to learn than now, so that way I can truly champion the software for my team and make it a lot easier for everyone. So yeah,
Yeah.
whatever I can do in that aspect, if we can figure that out, or at least create a bubble. I know you got a lot of people to deal with. If you can just create some type of spreadsheet and just, hey, choose one, you know, choose one battle you want to fight, and then I can
Yeah.
say, all right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that
We do
helps, but
have.
I'm here for it.
Marcus, I think, you know, again, just your story about going from, you know, living in your pickup truck to, you know, building a multi-million-dollar company, you know, is just wildly impressive and motivational. And so, you know, just your journey and your story, you know, I think could really motivate a lot of people to believe in themselves. I mean, you know, hearing your story on Builder Stories, I mean, dude, I was so moved after that. You know, I went and told the whole team, like, you got to listen to this story. Like, you know, I think that's exactly the type of, you know, when I say, like, I want you to think about how can you inspire the audience. I mean, your story is the definition of that when I think about that. So, you know, I think, you know, again, just it doesn't all have to be about JobTread. It's, you know, just also be you, you know, share your story.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I appreciate you wanting to fill gaps. That is awesome. We can also fill gaps, so don't feel pressured to, you know, push yourself in these areas that may not be as exciting for you. That's okay. And so if we meet, I'd love to meet with you one-on-one. When we meet, then I brainstormed over 100 different topics. And so just to kind of give us some ideas, but I don't want to share that big list with all of you because I don't want to pigeonhole you. First, I want to talk to you and see, you know, what you're passionate about, what your story is, and then I can definitely trickle in some ideas from that list, sure. But really, I find the most beauty in crafting it together. And so we can talk about how your story now is like what are the intricacies within that story? Yes, you've shared your story on Builder Stories, but let's get into the how. How did you get from this point to this point? And what are those change makers along the process? Like, I would love to talk to you about that. So schedule a meeting with me and we can dig in, and I think you'll feel pretty confident after that.
You know,
Perfect. I'm looking forward to chatting with you at 4:30.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, perfect.
I mean,
I was the one that scheduled it earlier, so
Awesome.
I would say too, you know, obviously, you know, feel free to collaborate with your customer success manager. I mean, like literally everybody on this call and some of the people that, you know, that weren't able to make it, I mean, you were all handpicked. Like, you know, it was either our team or me or Anna or somebody, you know, like, so you definitely have done something very unique and very interesting. And so kind of just, we can sort of help you figure out what that was if, you know, if you want to brainstorm, you know, with anyone on our team.
Yeah.
Thank you both.
All right, Chad, what's up, man?
Hey y'all, what a cool call. I love it. There's a
Fun.
bunch
It's
of
like a
heavy hitters here.
mastermind.
Fantastic, I know. So I was just thinking as you were going through the tracks and then and Anna talking about stories and everybody in a different place on their job tread journey or implementation. One of the things I think would be very useful is like real life walkthrough for like real life walkthrough as a remodeling contractor at $4 million, real life walkthrough as a deck builder at, $2 million, like walk through how we use JobTread, like how you went from, sticky notes on your desktop to SOPs in JobTread. But, that I think that to me, that's the stuff I want to go to hear other people speak about. So
Okay.
maybe walkthroughs of how we really use it would be pretty helpful.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be. And honestly, like during the think tanks that we have, Chad, your team adds a lot of that value during the think tanks. And so I think people are benefiting from it already. And so I could definitely see carrying it through to connect for sure.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Gates, how are you?
I am good. Thank you so much for having me on again, like just sort of parroting what everybody else has said. This has been great. One of the things that I really was when I came to JobTread Connect last year, for those of you guys who don't know in the call, I'm second gen. My dad is the owner of the company, and I have been brought on and thrown into the lion's den by onboarding JobTread. That's been my first about year of working for the company. It's been almost my full-time job because we're a pretty large firm. And what I really wanted to go in there for was how to onboard people. I found it an incredibly daunting task to be like, okay, how do I switch over all of these processes? I've now done it with about 17 or 18 employees. I've got about 20 more in the next 4 or 5 months or so. And I wanted to know if that was something that it's not necessarily, it is JobTread related, obviously, but it's also more theoretical and how to break down those processes and those workflows. And I didn't know if that was something, before I go to the lengths of writing the proposal, was something that even garnered interest from people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. Look at all that.
That might be silly, but it was not like physical. It's more just like how I found out, like how I kind of broke this down and split people into groups and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. So I've done sessions the last 2 years on like team adoption, and that has been a super well attended session. I would be saying the same thing again this year if I went on stage and did it again. Thank you, Darren. I appreciate that call out to the book. I would love to see someone else get on stage and talk about like the practical. I can talk about it from a theoretical perspective, but you actually have done it with your team members. And so I think that would be fantastic to see you up there doing that.
And Gates, I mean, you all did, you put in so much thought up front. I mean, I think it was like several months, you guys had the software and spent so much time developing out, and flushing out exactly, how it was going to be used, like all of your templates, like the SOPs, like, and for someone, of you guys' size and scale, Black Dog Builders, I mean, it's a very, very impressive thing. And I think if you say how, again, this is how, we implemented, $15+ million company on JobTread, that is going to capture, people's attention, and there will be a lot of interest in that for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. I just, if it was too theoretical, I didn't want to sort of, but awesome. That's good to hear. And I would love to, because I did attend your session last year, Anna, and it was great to sort of to get the gears grinding in my brain. Getting that practical experience is something that I would really love to share. Thanks.
Now, Gates, you're not allowed to talk about QuickBooks Desktop, though. We're going to need to move that over to QBO.
To be fair, my CFO and I don't necessarily see eye to eye on that one, but he knows, he's a very smart dude, and so I'm gonna let him rock with that one for now. So.
All right, well, I'll let him to it, kill it off, and then you can come over to the bright side. But one day we'll get you. Thanks, Gates. How's it going, Bryce?
Oh, you're
Oh, you're
muted.
muted.
Try to unmute yourself.
Sorry, I'm on the iPad.
Yeah.
So everybody's talked about how they use it and how it's in their business, but the biggest thing that we've found is none of my clients are local. So I meet with my clients on average once a month face to face on a custom home build, and that's on the high end. There's clients I won't see for 3 to 4 months. So JobTread really for us is a huge selling point to our clients that are a couple thousand miles away in another state.
Yeah.
That can see every aspect of the job going on day by day. And it just really simplifies it. It's more about how it simplified it for the clients than for us. So that's our biggest thing is we actually use it as a selling point to our clients who we have one in California, one in New York, and a potential in Texas. Well, I'm in Southeast Idaho.
Nice.
That takes, in order to build a custom home, the number of emails and phone calls and text messages to have that all in one place. When you show this to a client, some of which are running projects that I can't even imagine, and they're blown away. This is one of our biggest selling points. So that's awesome. That's kind of where, like, I keep hearing everybody talk about how great it is for them, but I love how good it is for the client.
Yeah. We always hear a lot of like, hey, you know, to help us understand the client portal, how does it work? What is the client going to see? What's their experience like? I think that would be a very, very interesting topic for sure.
Well, I'd be really curious too about like, how do you communicate it to your clients, you know, that this is a portal that you're going to be using, and how do you sell the idea to them? And then how do you make sure that they're using it, and how to like reinforce their use of the system if it's so easy to email and text you and all that stuff, you know? And so maybe a session on this, like the customer portal from lead through to active customer through to past customer, like how do you reinforce it throughout the entire process? I'd love to see something similar to that.
Sweet.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not very verbal sometimes.
You're fine. You're going to be on stage maybe, so I'm just kidding.
Is it going to be big enough? I'm 6.5 feet tall.
Yeah. And some of you who were on stage in the past, you experienced the projector and screen kind of being behind you. Now we're going to have 2 screens on the sides of the stage. And so you'll have a full stage to move around in. So don't you worry, we got you. What other questions do we have?
Nate Burkett's churning out a new estimate there. I can tell he's not stopping at one sale today.
I bet you're right. Yeah. Okay.
I am. Yes, I am. Absolutely. I'm like burning right now. I had a call earlier. Jamie and I were talking about the formulas and estimating. And one of the things that we've just really been super fired up about is being able to give people something really quick to make them, whole in a decision. Like people want to know, like they sometimes just are information gathering. And so rather than waste a bunch of time, let's just make it really simple and give them what they want right away. And, that's proven to be the way to make money, I think, in a good way. So
you guys are you both are very good at taking that prospect off the market very quickly. So it's definitely a good move.
Yeah, and if you all ever wanted to like present together, that's also an option. If you know of others, other contractors that you want to present with, do it, and that could maybe be an opportunity for, again, multiple perspectives to come in here, and you can talk about cranking out quick estimates, but how does Jamie do it differently than Nate, and that is super valuable.
Oh, I mean, Jamie and Steve, Kirk, I saw him on here earlier. I don't see we did a kind of where they both sort of did a co-presentation. I don't know, it was like a month ago or something. And I mean, that was, very, very well attended and like just to kind of, again, you have sort of 2 different perspectives on how to do something. And, I feel like it really it was good. We're actually want to do more of those. Like we're talking about, okay, let's get a couple of home builders on, maybe even like in a webinar format, a couple of remodelers where people can sort of have the the two different approaches, or just kind of give people varying opinions. I think the thing you got to be careful about is just making sure you both watch the clock and understand, that you don't want one person hogging all the time, because I think that might have happened at a couple of the co-presentations last year. Was that first speaker got long-winded, like maybe
It
me.
was usually a JobTread speaker. Yeah. I saw that Ryan, it looked like you had a
What you got, Ryan? Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry, just a quick statement. Again, such a neat group of folks. Would there be like a chance for maybe the speakers to have an event to get together at the outside of the normal programming?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, would you all be wanting to do something like that? Like pull the speakers together for maybe something the night before, or like a happy hour the day before the conference starts, or something, so that you all can connect? I think that also would establish some more comfort before you actually do the presentations. So I love that idea.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Thank you, Ryan.
Shots of whiskey before, is that?
Yeah. Don't worry, I'll have your mini bottles waiting for you. I'm just kidding.
I was thinking the old-fashioned bar was going to be just a year
on
thing.
rotation. I'll just push around a cart before your session.
that was just for your team. That was a Chad Huber special. You're not supposed to tell anybody about that one.
That's good stuff right there. Customer service.
Right? Yeah.
Well, hey, when you bring your whole team to our office, got to do it up right.
All right. Any last questions? I know we're reaching the top of the hour, and I'm sure y'all are busy folks. So,
Bob, how's it going? I know
Thanks,
you got something on your mind.
Great. Yeah, I was JobTread customer, like, I don't know, 2 after I think Nate signed up. And no, I'm just kidding. Been around a while. So I just want to say I appreciate this. And this is a stacked group, so this is great. It's going to make for a great event. So I appreciate the invite.
Yeah, I'm sure you can attest to the value of just getting experience speaking, and it is a great skill set. Really, seriously, I think it is a great skill set for everyone to acquire. It'll help you in more than just stage presentations. I mean, even just being even more comfortable in front of prospects and customers and one-on-ones and at church and wherever you may be. Like, I really do believe it's a very valuable skill set to have.
It's a very valuable invite as well. It's if any of you guys are looking at trying to get more speaking opportunities, it's not easy. You got to let people know you want to speak and kind of work on your craft. But this is a great way to do it. So awesome. If you're thinking about it, jump in.
Great.
All right. Well, I see we're at the top of the hour here, so we certainly don't want to take up too much more of all of your time. We're happy to hang out.
Yeah. Thank you all so much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody.
It's a pleasure. I hope to see all of you.
See you, Rick. See you, Darren.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
Bye.